Good morning, all you shiny happy people. 'Tis the Reverend. Who would have thunk it? Oh my God. Okay. I had to get this on video just as soon as it happened. And I know the majority of you guys aren't even going to believe me. That's fine. I've spent most of my adult life not being believed. So it's no big deal. I was taking my son to school this morning, and as we were heading down the road here in Dallas, we were on Clarendon. We were headed east, and there's a giant ass light in the sky, and it wasn't the sun, and it was solid. It wasn't blinking like airplanes. It didn't. It pulsed. It didn't appear to be growing in intensity like an airplane would with landing lights. It pulsed just like the UFO video that I posted from Santa Fe earlier in the week. And oh my God. Pardon me. Normally I would edit this out, but I won't. It was too high. I'm trying to convince myself this is great. It was way too high to be a helicopter. Helicopters can't travel that high in altitude. It was in the east. It was ahead of the sun, with the sun behind it. And with the sun behind it, it should have either been like a black object or a shadowed object. Instead, it was illuminated. Almost like the sun would have been facing it. And it pulsed. It was perfectly still in the sky. It did not move, and it pulsed and it pulsed. And me and my son, we sat there and we watched it for a good minute and a half before it just disappeared. And there's no clouds in the sky. It was clear skies, beautiful morning, and I've been driving that road twice a day for 4 years now. 4? 5. 5 years now. Twice a day for 5 years, I have driven that road. It is not in the flight path of Love Field or DFW. I've never seen planes coming from that direction before. I've never seen anything like this since moving back to Texas. I would see things like this all the time when I was at Fort Huachuca or White Sands or, just out in the desert doing whatever. I've never seen anything like this since coming back to Texas. I've never seen anything like this in Dallas. And it looked so much like the Santa Fe video that I posted earlier this week. I'll leave that link in the comments down below. My son is 10, but he's like one of them really badass young Sheldon kids. He understands things better than me or any of you. He's amazing, and I have never been able to get him into the paranormal. I always thought it would be one of those things. He's so smart. I always thought it would be one of those things that he and I could like bond on, and he could keep me grounded, because sometimes I do have a tendency to float away when it comes to unexplained phenomena. But this little 10-year-old looked at me with his mouth open. Same as me. We were matching faces as we were watching it. And he looked at me and he goes, "We just saw a fucking UFO." And he knows he's not allowed to say that word. But I didn't give a shit, because he and I just saw a fucking UFO. Seriously, guys. My experience in the paranormal is 2 decades old. I will be the first to try and figure out what something is before I scream paranormal, because I know how you get looked upon by the majority of society. And my bones are getting old, man. I can't just haul off and knock the shit out of anyone anymore without hurting myself. So I normally don't talk about this stuff in public like I used to. But I saw a fucking UFO this morning, and so did my son. And for the first time ever, even after all the things I saw in the military and at White Sands and at McGregor Range and through Nevada, through New Mexico, through Arizona, through Southern California, blah, 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 blah. You know, you watch TV, you watch the news, you know what I'm talking about. I never saw anything like this before in my life. And I've never had a sighting that I thought was solid enough to officially report it with MUFON. But that's the next step. That's what I'm doing next. So, more to follow. More to follow. Wow. Wow. That was something. That was amazing. If I was like a religious person, I'd be trying to convince you all that I saw an angel this morning. But metaphorically, maybe I did. Because before I saw that thing, I was in a very bad place in my head. I was very depressed, and I have been for a little over a week. And I'm excited as hell now. Because I'm about to go on a goddamn quest. We about to find some UFOs and shit. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, saw a UFO this morning. Preach truth, toke jokes, shoplift Amazon. I love you guys. I don't give a fuck if you believe me or not. That was amazing. Anyway, more to come. Back in the saddle.